You are 65 and terrified for your family's future. Rest in my promises. I see you sitting there in the quiet of your home, staring into the distance as the weight of the world settles heavily on your shoulders. You are 65 years old now. This was supposed to be the season of rest, the time when you could finally sit back on your porch, look at the life you have built, and breathe a deep sigh of relief. You spent decades waking up early, working through exhaustion, sacrificing your own desires, and pouring every ounce of your energy into creating a safe haven for your family. You did your best. You gave them everything you had. But instead of peace, you find yourself awake in the middle of the night, your mind racing with a terrifying, silent dread about what tomorrow holds for the people you love more than life itself. I know exactly how you feel. I see the tears you quickly wipe away before anyone can notice, and I hear the prayers you whisper when the house is dark and still. You do not have to hide this overwhelming fear from me. I am sitting right beside you, and I understand the deep, agonizing ache of wanting to protect your children and grandchildren in a world that feels increasingly unrecognizable and dangerous. You look at the news, you see the shifting tides of society, and a quiet terror grips your heart. You wonder how your children will navigate the financial struggles, the moral confusion, and the sheer unpredictability of the days ahead. You look at your grandchildren, so innocent and full of light, and your chest tightens. Who will protect them when you are no longer here? Who will guide them when your voice is just a memory? The antagonist you are fighting right now is not just the passage of time. It is the cruel illusion that the safety of your family depends entirely on your fragile human hands. You feel the sting of your own aging. You notice that your steps are a little slower, your energy fades faster, and the realization of your own physical limits brings a profound sense of helplessness. You feel like a shepherd watching a storm roll in, knowing your body can no longer build the shelter fast enough to keep the sheep dry. My dear child, I want to validate every single piece of this pain. It is completely natural to feel this way because you love them so much. Your fear is simply a shadow cast by the immense, beautiful love you carry in your heart for your family. I have watched you carry this burden for so long, trying to be the strong one, trying to be the rock for everyone else. You have absorbed their worries, their failures, and their anxieties, adding them to your own until your spirit is exhausted. You smile at family gatherings. You offer words of encouragement, but inside, you are trembling with apprehension. You feel guilty for being afraid. You tell yourself that you should have more faith, that you should be stronger, and you punish yourself for the anxiety that wakes you at 3 in the morning. Please, stop punishing yourself. Stop carrying the guilt of being human. I did not come to condemn your fearful heart. I came to comfort it. I know how desperately you want to control the future so you can guarantee their happiness. You replay past decisions, wondering if you prepared them enough, if you taught them the right lessons, or if you failed them in some invisible way. You carry the heavy stones of your past, along with the fears of tomorrow, and they are dragging you down into a sea of anxiety. I see the quiet grief you hold for the days when they were small and safe under your roof, where you could fix their problems with a warm meal and a hug. The world is so much bigger now, and they are out in it, exposed to storms you cannot shield them from. I want you to know that your love for them is a beautiful reflection of my love for you. But unlike you, I do not face the limitations of time or physical strength. When you feel terrified and inadequate, remember that I am infinite. You have fought a good fight. You have loved them fiercely, and your weariness is the absolute proof of a life spent caring for others. It is okay to admit that you are terrified. It is okay to admit that you do not have all the answers for their future. Handing them over to the unknown is frightening, but you are not handing them to the unknown. I am holding space for your sorrow right now. I am sitting with you in the quiet, wrapping my presence around your trembling heart. You are not alone in this house, and you are not alone in this fear. Your shoulders were never designed to hold the weight of tomorrow. I see your exhaustion. I feel your profound weariness, and I am here to tell you that you are allowed to put this burden down. It feels like just yesterday you were holding them in your arms, kissing their foreheads, and tucking them safely into bed. You look in the mirror now at 65, and you wonder where the decades went. Life happened so incredibly fast. You spent your 20s and 30s building a foundation, and your 40s and 50s working tirelessly to provide. But somewhere along that beautiful, exhausting journey, without you even realizing it, the habit of providing turned into the habit of worrying. You wanted to protect them from every stumble, so you started trying to anticipate every fall. As the world moved faster and grew louder, the peace you once felt sitting in your living room was slowly replaced by a constant, quiet hum of anxiety. The screens in your home began broadcasting danger. The culture shifted in ways you barely recognize, and suddenly, the walls you built to keep your family safe felt entirely too fragile for the storms outside. To protect the people you love, you built emotional walls. You absorbed their shocks, you hid your own struggles, and you carried the financial and emotional burdens in absolute silence. You thought you were being strong, but those walls eventually trapped you in a prison of isolation. The modern world is so disconnected, and as your children grew and moved out, the silence of the empty nest amplified your fears. You watch them making their own choices, sometimes stumbling, and you see your grandchildren growing up in a cold, unpredictable environment. That distance, both physical and cultural, acts like a thief in the night. It stole your rest. You started carrying the weight of the entire world, trying to manage the future, completely forgetting that you were only ever meant to live in the grace of today. The true enemy you are fighting is not just the relentless march of time, but the exhausting illusion that if you just worry enough, you can somehow control their destiny. Worry is a heavy, deceiving burden. It gives your mind something to do, but it leaves your spirit paralyzed. You look back at the past and allow regrets to haunt you. You wonder if you taught them the right lessons, if you showed them enough love, or if your own past mistakes will somehow become their struggles. This guilt, combined with the terrifying uncertainty of their future, forms a crushing weight. You lost your way the moment you started believing that your family's ultimate survival and happiness depended solely on your relentless vigilance. You became the weary watchman of the night, pacing the floors and refusing to sleep, believing that if you close your eyes, everything will fall apart. But I want to remind you of a conversation we had a long time ago. Remember when I was teaching on the mountainside, looking into the eyes of hard-working, deeply tired people who felt exactly like you do right now? I pointed to the sky to show them the simplest truth. I told them in the Gospel of Matthew, "Look at the birds of the air. They do not sow or reap or store away in barns, and yet your heavenly Father feeds them. Are you not much more valuable than they? Can any one of you by worrying add a single hour to your life?" I asked that question because I knew how worry physically drains the life out of you. And remember that beautiful promise I gave you in Matthew chapter 11. "Come to me, all you who are weary and burdened, and I will give you rest." I did not say come to me when you have it all figured out. I said come to me when you are crushed by the weight of it all. I made those promises to you before you were even born, and they remain absolutely true for you today at 65. I have watched the years pile up on your back. I have seen how the regrets, the silent guilt, and the noise of the modern world have drowned out my voice. You took my job, dear child. You tried to become the savior of your family, taking on a role that only I can fulfill. It is completely understandable why you did it, driven by a pure and fierce love. But this heavy armor of constant anxiety is now suffocating your soul. You were never built to sustain this level of fear. The walls of worry you have constructed are not protecting your family. They are simply keeping you from experiencing the deep, abiding joy of the time we have right now. I want you to take a deep breath right now and look at the hands resting in your lap. These are the hands that built a home, wiped away endless tears, and worked through exhaustion to provide for the ones you love. For 65 years, the world has taught you a very specific, unforgiving lesson about time. The world tells you that time is constantly running out, that your best years are behind you, and that if you have not secured your family's future by now, it is simply too late. The enemy whispers in your ear that your influence is fading, that your physical limitations mean you can no longer protect your children, and that the mistakes you made in the past are now permanently written into their future. But I want to tell you a beautiful, liberating truth today. My grace does not wear a watch. My love does not operate on a human calendar. In my kingdom, it is never, ever too late. You might feel like the sun is beginning to set on your active years of parenting and protecting, but in my eyes, this is the dawn of your most powerful spiritual season. I am the Alpha and the Omega, the beginning and the end. I hold the past, the present, and the future of your family in the palm of my hand. You do not need to figure out how to save them from the modern world, because I have already overcome the world. The shift in perspective I am offering you right now is the ultimate relief for your tired soul. I am asking you to resign from the job of being the general manager of the universe. It is a position you were never qualified to hold, and it is exhausting you. I want you to step down from the watchtower of anxiety and step into the warm, comforting light of my unconditional grace. Think about the immense love you feel for your children and grandchildren. It is a fierce, protective, and overwhelming love, isn't it? Now, multiply that love by infinity. That is how much I love them. I love them even more than you do. I am the Good Shepherd, and my staff is long enough to reach into the darkest valleys of their future, long after you are gone. You worry about who will guide them, but I am already walking beside them. You agonize over who will protect them from the storms, but I am the one who commands the wind and the waves. You feel the heavy, crushing guilt of past parenting mistakes, wondering if your missteps have somehow damaged their path. Hear me clearly now. My blood washes every single slate clean. My grace steps in exactly where your human abilities fall short. I can take your broken pieces, your perceived failures, and the very things you deeply regret, and weave them into a magnificent tapestry of redemption for your family. The time you have left, whether it is a few years or a few decades, is more than enough for my peace to take root in your home. You do not need to perform miracles. You just need to trust the miracle worker. When you fully surrender your terrified grip on their future, something beautiful happens. You stop transmitting anxiety to your family, and instead, you become a living, breathing testament to my peace. They will look at you, standing strong and calm at 65 in the midst of a chaotic world, and they will see my reflection. They will see a faith that does not panic. This is the greatest legacy you could ever leave them. It is not a legacy of perfect protection, but a legacy of perfect trust. Let me lift this burden off your aching shoulders right now. You have carried the heavy bags of worry for thousands of miles, and we have reached a place where you can finally set them down. I am extending my hands to take the heavy weight of tomorrow from your chest. You have done your best, my beloved child. You have fought the good fight with the tools you had. Now, it is my turn. Let me step in and be the savior your family needs. Let me heal the invisible wounds, quiet the roaring fears, and secure the future that you cannot control. The rest of your days are meant to be lived in the gentle embrace of my promises, knowing that your loved ones are cradled safely in my eternal arms. I want to show you exactly how we are going to walk through this together, starting right now, today. At 65, you have earned the right to live a life defined by peace, not by panic. I am not just asking you to blindly forget your concerns or pretend that the world is perfect. I am giving you a completely new way to process these fears, a gentle path that we will walk hand in hand. Whenever that familiar knot of terror tightens in your stomach, whenever the late-night thoughts threaten to steal your sleep, I want you to treat that anxiety as a gentle alarm clock, reminding you to call my name. Let us begin with your mornings, before your feet even touch the floor, before you turn on the news, or check your phone to see what fresh chaos the world has invented. I want you to take a deep, slow breath. In that quiet, fragile moment of waking up, I am sitting right there at the edge of your bed. I want you to intentionally gather up all your fears for your children and your grandchildren, like gathering up a bundle of heavy stones you have been carrying for decades, and hand them directly over to me. Say to me, I trust you with my family today. I cannot protect them from everything, but you can. That simple, honest prayer of surrender is the most powerful thing you can do for them. It shifts the burden from your fragile human shoulders to my eternal ones. You will feel a physical lightness enter your chest as you let me be God. allowing yourself to simply be my beloved, resting child. Next, I want you to change the way you speak about their future. Worry has a sneaky way of turning our words into prophecies of disaster. You look at your grandchildren growing up in this modern age, and you say to yourself, the world is so terrible. How will they ever survive out there? I understand completely why you feel that way, but I want you to start speaking my promises over them instead. When you talk to them, or even when you just think about them in the quiet of your living room, speak blessings into their lives. Remind them of my goodness. Tell them that no matter how dark the world gets, the light I placed inside them is infinitely stronger. By speaking hope instead of fear, you become a wellspring of true comfort for your family. You become the steady anchor they desperately need. They do not need a terrified guardian at 65. They need a wise, peaceful elder who knows exactly who holds tomorrow in his hands. I also want you to reclaim the profound joy of this present moment. The enemy uses your fear of the future to rob you of the beautiful, fleeting moments of today. When your family gathers in your home, or when you hear their voices over the phone, do not let your mind race forward to the financial or cultural dangers of next year. Stay right there in the room with them. Laugh with them. Listen to their stories without trying to fix every single problem they mention. Your peaceful, attentive presence is a far greater shield for them than your anxious hovering could ever be. I want you to sit on your porch, watch the sunset, and know deep in your bones that the exact same hands that painted the evening sky are holding your family tight. I am the Good Shepherd, and I do not lose a single one of my sheep. Even as your body ages, even when you inevitably transition from this temporary life to our eternal home, my watch over them will never, ever end. My rod and my staff will guide and comfort them, just as they are comforting you right now. You are entirely safe, my sweet friend. Your family is completely safe in my relentless care. I am so immensely proud of the fierce love you have poured out over these 65 years of your life. You have done a beautiful job, and now it is time for you to rest securely in the shadow of my wings. I will never abandon you in your later years, and I will absolutely never forsake the precious ones you leave in my keeping. We will walk this path together, step by step, and you will see that my love is the absolute safest place for your family to reside. If you are ready to put down your heavy bags of worry for good, I invite you to make a declaration of faith right now. Leave your burden in the comments below. Type, "I receive your peace, Lord," so that we can seal this beautiful promise today. And please, subscribe to this channel so we can continue to walk together every single day as I pour my endless comfort and truth into your beautiful, weary heart.